Ready, set, sew. Give it a go.
Hello, I'm Paula Pascual from Tonic Studios. I have been paper crafting for the last 21 years, since I discovered the joy of making my own Christmas cards using papers and cards that I had around and embroidering into them. I started using Tonic products back in 2004 when I got my first guillotine from Tonic Studios. Since then I have been hooked on their products to make sure that I get perfect cutting every single time. I love paper crafting because in a very short amount of time I can create a really beautiful piece of artwork that I'm very proud of, and I can then give it away to my friends and family. I love being on Hochanda because then I get to share all the techniques and tips that I have learned over the years. So join me for my Tonic shows on Hochanda.
These essential sprays are a must for any crafter. Stick and Spray is a universal repositionable craft adhesive for use with rocker blocks. Stick Away is an adhesive residue remover that can be used on a range of surfaces. Stick and Stay is a revolutionary permanent spray adhesive designed for use in all paper crafting. To stock up, check out hochanda.com.
Oh, we are looking forward to this next hour. Thank you so much for joining us for our one-day special. Becca is here to demonstrate and guide us through. But also, Becca, you are the designer of not just these dies in the one-day special, but every die on the counter this evening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All go together, mix and match. That's why.
Yeah, and those that have already got the other dies on today's show will know that, and mixing and matching and getting the best out of what you've already invested in is the way to go.
Yeah.
But also, I love the versatility. By looking at the dies that we've got tonight here, Becca, the design that we've got, they're magical. You know, those not quite in the know yet might be thinking, well, these look interesting.
They do look interesting.
Yeah, but what could I make with these? Well, of course, make to sells, decorative three-dimensional cards. They're amazing. The samples that we've got here on the table that we're seeing. And the shadow boxes, you're getting 3 shadow box dies here with the 1/2 inch, the 3/4 inch, and then the 1 inch dies for your shadow boxes to make the shadow boxes as long or as big as you want as well. Yeah. And then all the beautiful other dies, the decoration dies too.
Right.
They're wonderful. I mean, talk us through the inspiration then, please, Becca, behind the scenes.
Well, 3D just seems to be so big right now, dimension and paper crafting. And earlier this year, I had another three-dimensional 3D vignettes collection that was very well received. And so I actually wanted to continue designing in that vein, but with a different venue or medium or, you know, if you will. Yeah. So things that were available in the previous set, I made available in this set, but with a shadow box base. And then, of course, we wanted to supply all the embellishments so that you don't have to worry about it. You know, there's a rectangle that's going to fit your shadow box. Yeah. There's an oval that's going to fit your shadow box. And, you know, they're really matched up so that you don't have to go looking for the embellishments. They're all here. They're all mix and match.
Yeah, and if I could buy absolutely everything on the table today, it would be such an easy life, because literally, as you just said, Becca, everything works with everything, and the decorative dies work with it. Some of the examples that we can see down here as well, even if you were just making your, I mean, this is by no means a regular card, but if you were making a two-dimensional regular card, the decorative dies are useful for that, as we can see there, with that beautiful scene. It's so nice. But then making with 30% of the stock gone on the one-day special, making your shadow box designs here, either to lean up against something at home, or, you know, I'm going to grab this one as home decor or hanging on the wall, but just to stick on a card blank and you've made yourself a three-dimensional card.
Right,
So,
right.
just a wonderful design, this.
Well, and I always have a issue, thinking of how I'm going to put something in the mail. And so something like this actually slips right into an envelope like this.
Perfect, there you go.
And then everything is protected. So part of the thought behind it was if I wanted a box for my cards, that's the box already.
Yeah, you've made it.
I've made it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. The card is the box, and the box is the card, and it just adds so much potential because you've got the frame to work with. Should we show these as well? Yeah?
I'd love to show them.
Yeah, go on. I'll just put that back safely over there. But for decoration, I mean, that sample there as well. We'll look closer later.
So the way these dies work, you can make a frame of any size. You can make square, you can make rectangle, you can make long, thin. You can customize to whatever you want. And so I did these as an example. This being, I could probably go just a tiny bit smaller, but you're not bound by anything. I couldn't cut this on my paper cutter, so I cut it with scissors. I'm not bound by anything, and then I could score it, so you can literally make any size you want, and that's the beauty of the dies.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, you have them in your hand, and you've got that precision and perfection with them as well.
Right.
So to be able to make your frames, your box frames, that on a canvas. I mean, you're making your decoration. Thank you, Becca. You're making a decoration here, so I might have, say, a 12 by 12 canvas at home, a plain white canvas,
right?
And I might want to use my hot glue to stick this on as a focal point. You know, it's there. So already your brain starts kicking into action. You think, how am I going to use these? What am I going to create? Love the set. And as the one day special, you've got big savings, £10 off with it. Also, 33 dies in the set with all the decorative dies, the dies that you've already got in your collection that they'll work with as well, and those base core dies to create your shadow box designs as well. 108894 to order now. We'll get straight into the demonstration because we wanted to do that. We chatted before the show, didn't we, Becca? We said the sooner we get making, the better. Have a look at the web, hochanda.com. You've got individuals there. If it's about the big collection, fair enough, but if you would rather get an individual, that is also your choice. The Thinking of You Woodland layered scene is part of your one-day special, but is also available on its own for $18.99. Pop that in your basket. Or you may want to be going out for one of the other sets, maybe all your decorative dies. Absolutely love that vintage starburst valance. But then you've got your butterflies as well, the flutterwing butterflies. They will work again with your shadow box to create your decoration, to create your scenes. All on there, all as singles or as the bundle. Do check it all out to see. But we'll work through and show you as much as we can in the programme. So Becca, what would you like to work with?
Well, so I'm going to put together a frame. On the last show, I put together a frame, but there are a couple of different ways to make frames, so I'll cover a different way. But one thing I want to talk about the dies a little bit, but I also want to show what the frames look like beside each other because people might not realize what they. And then I'll take this one right there. Okay. So this frame is the half-inch, and it is going to be especially appropriate for little cards. This is the 3/4 inch, which is a little bit heftier, and that works for cards, but it also is what I've made the large frames out of. And then the 1 inch is pretty big. It's quite substantial, but it gives you the depth if you have a bow that you're trying to hide. So you can compare these all. I can't see you just picking one. I'm just going to be honest with you because, you would find a use for each of these. Yeah,
of course. And you're getting all three in your one-day special as well.
Right. Okay, so this is what the dies look like, and they do look curious. And, it took me a while to kind of engineer and figure out the way to get it, but every die set comes with 5 pieces. There are 2 sets of mirrors, and when you use them, you'll be using the mirror together, and I'll explain it. And then it comes with another little magical piece that we find a great use for. So I'm going to peel these away, and I'm actually going to work with the 3/4 inch frame, which is going to be good for a card maker. Now, if you are going to make something with the 3/4 inch frame, I already know ahead of time that you need a 3-inch piece of paper. And it's going to be 3 inches by however long you want your leg on your frame to be. So you know a picture has 4 sides, so we're going to need 4 pieces. So on this one I haven't cut this to size yet. Let me go ahead and cut that. And let's just say that it's 6 inches. I'm going to just
so
take
nice, by the way. This is so, every sample's
to see them side by side, and then
if you're making
to see
a really special card, a real centerpiece.
To see what the difference is. So I'm going to cut each of 4 pieces to 6 inches. I've already cut the width to 3 inches, so I'm good there. And then I'm going to cut each one of them here, just to show you how that works. So we're good here, and I will move this over out of the way. And with the dies, as I told you, we will be using them as pairs. So let me start out with this pair first. Now you'll notice on this die, there's a bump out, and the bump outs are important. So when I flip this over to put the cut side down on my paper, I'm going to line up the corner bump out, and then this one matches on the edge, and that's it.
Right.
So I'm just going to take a piece of tape.
That's what you were pointing at, that right angle triangle.
Right.
Just there, that one and that one.
The
so
bump outs have a little hole there.
Okay.
So now I'm going to turn it over. It is mirrored, and I'm going to, you need to get it on point, but this is not something that you're going to agonize over. And then I'm going to put a piece of washi tape there, and I can cut 2 on the platinum at one time. So let me just get another one going. You're going to get 4 dies, but I almost would buy 2 sets,
okay. Yeah.
so that I can do it all in one fell swoop.
One pass,
So here again, these dies have bump outs, so I'm aligning this corner bump out on this corner and this corner bump out on this corner, and then I'm going to attach it with tape. And then we have one more that I'm going to put right here, just matching the corners. And there we go. All right, so we'll run these through. They do not need to be embossed. They simply need to be cut. And let me stagger that so it's not hard to get through the machine.
Oh, okay, yeah. So one die hits the rollers, and then the next one follows.
Yes.
Yeah, so remember that as well. It's a good tip.
Yeah. There we go. And then I'm just going to come back through.
Very clever. Those watching, if you saw the samples, you've seen the one day special. It's that light bulb moment of seeing these. If you didn't catch the launch show at 6 o'clock.
Okay. So now I'll just peel this up. And you'll see, I'm going to hand this to you, that there are indentions, and the indentions are quite important. There we go. Come on, wash it in. There we go.
There we go. So our little cut lines, and then our little indentations, the score lines that we have then, and you'll see this when I tip it away from the bright lights, you'll see the shadow. There you go. Perfect shot. To show you those indentations and score lines that we have, and there are 4 on each end, and then you've got the same going on here.
Yes. And so I'm just going to pull this up.
I'll hand that back to you now, back to the expert.
And this one really got the washi tape really adhered. So here is
Pressure the platinum, isn't it?
Here's the other. It's the pressure. It definitely is.
Yeah, it's a good machine. It's a great looking machine as well. Sorry to be shallow, but the platinum is a beautiful machine. You're right. There we are. There's your indentations that you can see, and then your outside cut also.
Okay, and the indentations are important because after we get through each piece, we're going to fold on those indentions, and they're where the accuracy needs to be. You can fudge a little bit on the edges, but really those pieces, the score lines need to be on point. Okay, so I need to just layer up one more piece here, run it through, and we'll be moving along. Okay, so there's that. Whoops.
So you've got your rhythm going, you understand, you know what you're doing each time now once you start.
Yeah.
And having watched the demonstration as well, you'll be clear on it.
Yeah. So you do want to put it down so that it is quite stable. I'm only using one piece of washi tape, but
I've been wanting to show this for a little while as well, so while we're repeating our step, you can see here with the ribbon threader, each side, well actually at the top and the bottom, but just on the left hand and the right hand side threaded with ribbon, and then using your decorative dies to get your flowers out there to decorate the frame. But isn't that wonderful? The bottom of the screen for your ribbon thread, it is in the One Day Special, but if you'd like to get the ribbon threader set, it's $16.99 plus delivery. But what a wonderful, wonderful piece of home decor, or something that could easily be a make to sell. It's a lovely piece. Oh, and by the way, the One Day Special is on 3 flexi-buy payments as well, so it's $31.31 today, and then 2 more similar payments for the next 2 months.
all right. So there's our second piece.
And it's a worldwide launch today as well. So worldwide launch tonight at 6 was our launch show with Janice. And of course Becca.
Okay. There we go. All right. So now the next step is we need to take these pieces and I'll move the scoreboard over here, so that we can actually see. Let's move that out of the way. And so my recommendation is that you use a scoreboard. What we're going to do is we're going to put each piece in the scoreboard, and then we're going to align not by the edge, we're going to align by the score mark. So I'll see where one score mark is and make sure the other one corresponds, and then we're going to score in between those score marks. The reason that we don't score over a line that's already scored is the paper is already damaged. Not damaged, but it's already compromised because it's already been embossed.
Yeah.
If you do it again, it's going to cut a hole.
Okay.
And, you know, if you made a mistake and you did that, it's not a big deal, but you'll want to put tape on the back side so that it doesn't go any further. So that's one. And we'll do this one. And actually, this part, when you get the hang of it, starts going very fast.
Free flowing, isn't it? Yeah.
If you had a small piece, or flip that around, if you had a small piece, or if you wanted to fold by hand, you can. I find this much quicker, and you'll see. And now I'm down to the last of our 4 pieces. And if you watched this demo before, I actually used our special magic piece that I'm going to use in a different way this time. Okay, so now we go to taping. So I need to put a piece of adhesive on each of these. I've always been taught that, you know, if you're scoring, you bend away from the score line.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the right side. This is going to be the back side. We're going to be taping on the back.
Okay.
So I'll get a thin piece of tape, I'm selecting like a 8-inch piece of adhesive, and we'll just simply put it there and put it here. And this will all make sense.
It's coming together. Light bulbs are going off, you know, all throughout the show, aren't they? And it's amazing. It's ingenious design on the dies as well. Really,
thank you.
You know, cutting down on the complications of and the size of the dies. You're just getting the core of what you need,
right? And
then you're filling in the gaps as well.
Here we go.
Because goodness only knows how much the die set might cost if it was, you know, and the requirement for a big machine each time as well.
Okay, so now I need to score each of these, and the best way that I've seen to do it is to put the piece that has the biggest gap on the bottom, and then push, and then just keep doing that. And so I've scored that in 15 seconds. Yeah.
But with the help of the score lines already, you're there, you know.
Right, exactly. So we do that again, just every score line. I've got my finger behind it, and that's kind of pushing it out. So it just helps us. You know, you can take a bone folder and do this much more if you want, but this, you know, what I'm doing right now will take care of it.
And I should just, on that topic of making them as big or whatever size you want, not having them as single pieces of metal, where you're saying this one is 4 inches wide or long or whatever, or this one's 5. You know, you're not limited to that length of card. You're cutting your card to whatever size that you want. That's the genius of it. So you can make the mini frames, very mini frames. You can make the slightly bigger frames if you wish as well. You can make them even bigger again, maybe, or potentially even bigger, like so. Or finally, maybe even this big, or even bigger if you want. You know, the limits are honestly only by what you want to make. So a potential is there with this investment when you're getting tonight's one day special.
You know, I always wanted to make one of those Christmas decorations that had the empty frame and then you hang stuff down in it.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be...
Oh, my word, yeah. So if you take sort of the middle size and then just hang, you know, ornaments or die cuts, flowers, paper flowers.
Right.
Isn't that nice? So to be able to do that, interactive, like...
Right.
Very nice.
And then Janice was holding it up as if you would take a picture, you know,
yes.
inside.
Yeah, I guess, you know, like the whole, like, you know, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I have 2 more of these little pieces to cut, and then we'll move forward with putting this together. Okay. So there is a little piece in each set. The last time I used it on the outside to fortify the corners, and I'm going to use it differently this time. This particular design, if you were to do this with not the strongest craft paper, you can also put this corner inside so that the frame doesn't collapse.
Okay.
So,
Oh, it's got that, yes, yeah. So it's
a couple of different uses for it. So, yeah, this piece is also scored in the middle, so as I pull it out of the die, I can actually go ahead and fold it in half. So our next step is I'm going to put those together. I'm going to put every tube together. So I have those now. Okay, so frame is 4 pieces. I have 4 pieces here. Going to pull off the adhesive and just roll it over. And when I roll it over, this little lip just sits right here.
So easy, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just put my fingers inside and just kind of rock it in place. If it didn't seal all the way, you can kind of flatten it and do. All right.
We're so lucky that you've engineered these, though, that backwards for us, so that we're, you know, just to be able to pick up the dies and make, you know, none of the measuring, none of the headache of the angles, or it needs to be there, and I need the right angle to fit in here and dovetail in. It's all we need to know is how big we want the frame. You know,
right.
Decide how big you want your frame.
Well, and so I mentioned before that it wasn't apparent to me the easiest way to put it together until I'd worked with it for a while, because, you know, I had a complicated way that immediately we knew, no, there's a much easier way, you know, and so this to me seems to be the easiest way.
Yeah, and just judge how big you want the frame as well. Cut your card accordingly.
Yeah.
Say you want a 6-inch side or a 7-inch side or a 10-inch side to the card, cut it that long. And then you've got them. You've got your sides and make 4 of them. Or did we say this yet, actually, Becca, on the whole triangular thing as well? The different shapes that you can make. It doesn't have to just be a square, does it?
I have not tried to make a triangle, but I bet you can.
Yeah,
I bet you can. Yeah. All right. So 1 more of these to go, and then we will start linking them together. Okay. So this will just flip up. I grab it from the ends and just make sure everything is good. This is small enough that pretty much my finger can go through and I can smooth all those down. Okay, this is the piece that has the miter, and you'll notice that it has kind of a flap. That flap just goes to the inside, and it is also designed to keep this from collapsing.
Yeah, a bit of structure. Yes,
have a little bit of structure. So in order to put them together this other way, I'm going to set these up. This is my back side. They all need to kind of look alike, but I alternate the pieces. So I will do a mitered one and then a whole one. Okay. And then I'll do a whole one here, and then I will
Just
do
tuck those bits in, don't we?
this mitered one. Okay, so now comes the little magic piece. I am not going to put these decorative pieces on the outside. I'm going to put them on the inside. So that means I'm going to fold them in half and then grab my glue. And I will say that with the glue, you do need to be a little bit patient. We'll rush through it, but at home, you're going to take your time. So I've put glue on one side.
Good quality PVA, that, the Cosmic Shimmer as well.
I know,
so, you know,
it's so good.
Yeah, for a three-dimensional box here, you want it to grab and you want it to be a strong glue. So,
Right.
Yep.
And I'm going to seat that right inside, just like that. So I've put half of it inside.
Okay.
Now I'm going to glue the other side.
So it's your brackets holding them together, but it's
Yes.
also giving the,
Yes.
if you imagine if you were to get a piece of card, I can't find a regular card, yeah, here we go. If I was to lean on this card, the apex, obviously it would squash and flat, but the science of it, the physics of it is that's the structure, so that's where your pressure would be.
Exactly.
So you've got a little tab inside creating that strength to your box frame.
Right, so on this one, once I put it inside, I want to just take I want to butt it up as close as I can get to the other one, and then I'm going to press that down. And then we're going to let that dry. We need to let that dry, and with the Cosmic Shimmer, it holds very well. All right, so now I have a straight piece, a mitered piece. I've got glue on another one, so I'm going to just put this in where I'm making that fold come right to the edge. All right, so I'm pressing that down. Then I'll put glue on this side. Spread that out a little bit, and then I'll butt these up together, and then I'll lay that down. So we're making a long
long sort of
choo-choo
caterpillar.
train.
Yeah, train, train, caterpillar, whatever.
Okay.
Train is good. Yeah.
Okay, so now I have another tab that is ready to go in, and I'll just press that down. Then I'll add glue here, and then we'll, this is your opportunity to get the edges of the two frames right together, and then just take your finger and just run that down ever so slightly. There we go. So then I have one more, and so we can't put this all the way in, but I can glue it on one side.
Yeah.
And I'll just put glue down. And so this is what you would do if you don't really want the corners on the outside. Okay, so we're pretending that this is dried.
Yeah.
And
at home it would be. We would wait.
Yeah.
We would have waited for this.
We would
but
wait.
Live TV, we're kind of carrying on.
But so we're gonna go ahead and
don't look at me.
put we're gonna make the end of the straight go into the miter.
Yeah. Okay.
And it went a second
You
ago.
had it.
Of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
You took it out. Yeah.
Then
yeah.
we're gonna keep doing that all the way around. Now
Brilliant.
I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on that last.
So if you're watching at 6 p.m. for the launch, that's
Tip.
another way to make.
That's
the frames
another
go
way.
in. Yeah. Yeah.
And then this is gonna go in here, but you need to tuck that in while you're doing it. Okay. And then I use this as a straightening tool.
That's a good idea. So just to butt it up against the edge of your scoreboard or a similar,
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you've let your glue dry in between, before you get to this stage, it's going to turn out pretty good. Okay? And so that actually has to dry, but that is how you'll make a frame with that piece on the
That's
inside.
so lovely to see that live and out. I mean, we started. You had your card cut to the right width,
Right.
but apart from that,
Right.
we've done that from scratch.
Yeah, and so that's how I made all of those.
Okay.
And if you saw the first show, I glued every piece that went in there. This way, I didn't have to.
Yeah.
So.
And looking here at the different frames, it's just up to you on the size of the frame that you're making here, on the squares, or indeed how you're designing your own shadow box, whether it's going to be a card or whether it's going to be a piece of home decor or anything like that. And the beauty, the absolute beauty, is you are not limited. This is not like a die where you run it through the machine, cut your card, and that's it. You've got to make the shadow box that particular size. You are unlimited here. You can decide to make it as big as you want. I've never seen a die cutting machine as big as the second biggest frame there, but because of these dies, you can make that. There are no limits to how you want to design your actual box and the shadow box.
Let me just make a point about that. When I got to this frame, I put the die on the end and I put the die on the other end, and you reel it in, and then you reel it back out, and you turn it around. Because the end part is the only part that has to go in the die cut machine.
Yeah, you're not sending that whole length of card through. No, definitely not. It's just the choice. And then you're scoring the bits in between. Yeah, it's ingenious designing here from Becca. Becca has designed these dies, but every die on tonight's show as well that you'll see on the live show, all designed by Becca, because they all interchange and they work together. And they are irresistible. I'll warn you now, you'll want everything, seriously. You can get the individuals as well. We're looking right now at the half-inch border die set. That's getting 5 dies in the set, $11.99 plus delivery, 204093 to order now. Half-inch, that's 2-day extended delivery, 27th of September. Did I mention that yet? I don't know, but we're looking at 27th of September dispatch. No, I did. It's okay. And then you've got the 3/4-inch border die set. Again, this sold out earlier, but it's on a 2-day extended. That's also, again, $16.99 plus delivery, $298,455 to get that singly on its own. And then the 1-inch as well here. This is the depth. This is the 1-inch is the depth of your shadow box. 60% of the stock has gone on that already, so it's another busy option on its own. $18.99 plus delivery. And then a couple of other individual dies that are rather popular. Your ribbon threader. This ribbon threading in card making has got huge in the last year or so. I mean, it's always been there, but the ribbon threader die, you're getting 6 dies in this set. Your decorative dies, and then your 2 different widths of the ribbon threader. Just there, or 2 decorative edges of your ribbon threaders rather. 121238 to order, and they're $16.99 plus delivery. The 1 day special is a lovely 1 day special. We can have a really good look at it. How would you like, and I'll take this with the stand this time, with over 30% gone on the 1 day special big bundle, how would you like, you can buy these little frame mounts on the internet. We bought a few before, me and Mrs. M. They work. You can even die cut your own cards to make these as well. You can make your own frame holders, but look at this, the shadow box there, 33 dies in your complete collection for the shadow box die collection. To use your ribbon threaders, to make that box, and to make something that is to keep. You know, imagine that as a wedding present. I mean, you know, that of course a biblical quote, but if you wanted to make it any sort of quote from a favourite book, or a book that is very meaningful, faith-based or otherwise, or if it's going to be maybe a name, 2 names maybe for an engagement, a wedding, it's personalised immediately, isn't it? Or for a new birth, you can make these lovely shadow boxes. Or as a regular card, you've got your shadow box frame here, stick it to a card blank, score and cut your own card blank maybe, nice and sturdy for the back, but it's not just about, okay, you've made a shadow box, now what? It can be a card also. Think about putting acetate over the front, sticking another frame over the top there to then create a shaker card or a scene. And if you haven't seen all the other dies that create scenes, have a look on the show. There are lots there. The trouble is, you know what, making a card like this, I suppose posting it's an issue, isn't it? Oh, never mind. Unless you've got, you know, yourself a lovely squishy envelope, and the box itself is the protective box, you know? You don't have to make an envelope box necessarily. The card is in itself the protective box. And we've seen how well it's made. It's got the structure, and it's got little tabs inside to stop it being squished as well. We've got the 3 different sizes. Just over here, I've buried them under my other frames actually. You've got your 1/2-inch, 3/4-inch, and also the 1-inch frame. They all come in the 1-inch 1 day special. That's your 1/2-inch frame just there, and that's your the width on your actual box on the box frame. That's the 1/2-inch just there. Let's be adventurous, and then yes, it's on the depth there also, so it's everywhere. And then you've got your depth on this one, and that's on the 3/4 inch frames. That's 1/2 inch on the lilac, 3/4 on the blue, and I do believe with the ribbon threader, this you would be looking at the 1 inch. Hang on a minute. No. This is your 1 inch there. So that wider frame for your 1 inch design. And then just to show you the depth there on all three, you can see 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. So 3 different sizes. And we're not saying pick your favourite size either. You are getting all three. The 1/2 inch is at the top, 3/4 and the 1 inch are down below there. Those are included. But you've also got your ribbon threader and your decorative dies. You've got these scene dies up here with the woodland dies also. So there are 2 lovely, very special scene die sets that you're getting in this collection. That's the ribbon threader that you're looking up close up. And then here's the woodland die set as well. They're all absolute beauties, all of them. Love this one day special. It's so ingenious. You can get so creative with it as well. Now we're approaching 40% of the stock on. We only had one complete live show earlier. This is the follow-up program right now. 108894. Order yours now. It's a brilliant set, and it's £93.94, which to me that's a consider purchase in one go. But for what you can actually make to you, if you're happy there, that's all good and well and good. If you would rather, this is what I'd do, split it into 3. It's £31.31 plus delivery with a £10 saving. And if you're thinking, Matt, what are you talking about? You'd go automatically for FlexiBuy. You're on the telly, mate. It's not as glamorous as it looks. Honestly, I would have to go for FlexiBuy. It's not as glamorous, and 2, I've got 2 kids, mate. 108894 to order is your item number. Have a look at the website, hochanda.com, and you've got all of your individuals that are there. The bundles are on there too. FlexiBuy is an opportunity. Have a look out on different shows for freedom prices as well. But you've also got there, I love the Valance design. Oh, could we just stay there for a minute? The filigree shadowbox easel and the pocket die set. It's a lovely set that, if you're into your journaling and your bookmaking, that basically cuts a pocket for you so that you can pop a tag in there. But if you're into your journaling and your bookmaking, you will love that die. Add that to your order today. It's £16.99 plus delivery, and it will also make your easel for you. Just taking a sip of water. You've got all sorts on there, also freedom prices with your banners, and then those lovely sets. Look at those 2 there. If you're new to Becca's designs, not them, the other 2. Yeah, those 2. The 3D arch die set. Adorable. I mean, my goodness. When we come back with Becca, I'm going to grab a couple of examples to show you, one of each. Because I'm naughty, or I think I've got... Yeah, here we go. I've got 2. Here we go. Becca, do you mind talking about these quickly?
Oh, I'd love to talk about them.
All right.
So the collection that I was speaking about before was a 3D collection that looked like this.
Yes.
It had different dies for the inside. So in order not to orphan those dies, I wanted to bring those types of dies, the layering sets, into this collection. Yes. So there are new layering sets available, and they have a youthful feel, although they still have elegance. And so we have Adventure Awaits, we have the Woodland...
the woodland scene in the one day special, yes, that's a lovely one as well.
The woodland scene, we have Little Birdies, and then we also have a girlfriend set. So these are just dies that you can actually take and put in these grand base cards that will allow them to be 3D, but yet squashed to flat.
Yes, this is so clever, look. Yeah.
To go in an envelope.
I know you designed the Becca, but you know, I'm still like in awe. Have I picked up the right one for the Grand Arch as well? Is that the Grand Arch?
This one is the Grand Arch,
Thank
and this
goodness
is
for that.
This is the Grand Cabinet.
Okay, and I bricked up the Grand Cabinet as well. So you can tell the difference because it's got the the decorative bottom on it for the feet. So
kind of looks like a
dresser.
A dresser.
Yeah.
And so that is going to give you a tunnel look, a 3D look. It's really intriguing, especially I've seen people. You know, you can take and put whatever you want in there. These are specifically made so that you have a sentiment, you have some decoration, and you have something cute to go along with it. But you know, they're really intriguing. I've seen people put lights in them. I've seen people put lights behind them. They're a piece that is going to stay set out. So it's a showcase piece.
Yeah, they are beautiful. So I've been really selfish in mentioning those to you, but they're some of my favourite dies aside from the one-day special.
Yay.
And they work with the one-day special, as you just said, with the scenes as well. So definitely check those out and pop them in your basket if you fancy.
I just challenge you, if you send that to someone, I promise you, they will not throw it away.
Oh, they'll be on the phone saying thank you so much. I can't believe it.
And they're going to leave it laying out.
Yeah, they will. They will. It'll be there next year and the year after that as well.
Yes.
So I'm so sorry there, Becca. Let's get back to the one-day special then. They work with your one-day special though. So
okay. So we had this frame that we made. You know, I'm still gluing a little bit, but I'm going to secure this. If you look at the frame, you'll see that because I adhered it the way that I did, I have a little lip there. So I use that lip to actually insert a piece of paper, and that works out really nice. So I'm just going to take my glue.
That could be a photo, that could be
and I'm going to just run around here with just a thin line of glue so that I can put that backing on it, because typically I'm going to put a piece of cream paper, but you might not want a cream piece of paper on the inside of that. This is going to give you the ability to have it your way, have it both ways. So I'm just gonna, and there's no bulk here, so I'm just gonna put that on the back. This is what it'll look like from the front. So there you have your design paper inside. And then the same thing, I could do it with glue or I could do it with my tape. I'll just run a bead of glue right here and just a thin bead of glue, and then I'm gonna put a cream back on it, and then we will truly have a finished frame. So I just pop that on the back, and there we go. So that is our finished frame.
very nice.
Well, what to go inside?
Absolutely anything. I'm sure you've got a few ideas, but literally anything. Yeah.
I do. So the set that I thought we could cut is the little birdie.
Okay, yeah.
And so how would I get something in there? Well, this is gonna kind of show you how. This is just a scrap piece of paper. And what I've done is I've gone the inside width of my frame, and then I've scored by 1/4 of an inch on each side. This is what we're gonna end up doing with the pages that we cut. Now, maybe I want more than one layer, so if I do, I'm still going to go the same width across, but I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay. And it's going to give me a stair step up. Yeah. So I have a plain piece of paper here. It's definitely wide enough that I can score on each side.
Yes, because you're going to lose that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to lose that. Yeah. So let me go ahead and score there 1/4 of an inch on each side. Flip that. And then I'm going to just take one of these sets of dies.
So many choices here in the one-day special, or in any of the dies that you've already got, maybe.
And it is. Yeah. So let me explain the layering dies. The layering dies, these layering dies are inlaid. And what that means is you'll cut them and the interior of the die will come out, but the whole motif will still appear in this solid sheet. Now, I can cut this inlaid, or I can cut it out wholly, and you cut it out wholly by putting it with this rim. Okay?
Yeah, so have that.
I want this as an inlay. So I'm just going to take, let's just do the word. I'm going to take the word, and I'm going to just center that to the best of my ability. You know, I get a little bit more mathematical with it at home, but for right now, we're just going to cut.
By eye, yeah.
You're going to get the idea. And so take that and just pop that down, you know, with a piece of washi, and then over to the die cut machine we go. I'll place that face down and grab my mat. We'll cut it.
The one-day special is on FlexiBuy. You can spread the cost over 3 months if you wish, but individuals are also available. So if you fancy a particular element, have a look on the website for different options, just like the Sweet Birdie, which is the die set that we're using now for $19.99 plus delivery for all the decorations. So if you've got your grand cabinet or your grand arch, they will work with those. The grand cabinet, by the way, very, very popular indeed. Just while we're doing a cutting, I'm being very naughty and quickly showing this. But yeah, this is the grand cabinet now. And it's extremely popular. The dies from the one day special do work and interchange, so you can build your own scenes using those inside dies. So for example, sorry to lean across here, but the Sweet Birdie die from the one day special, that obviously works and interchanges. Also, that's the grand arch, that's the grand cabinet there. Forgive me. That's the grand cabinet there, 499084. Just see the detail on that for $24.99 plus delivery. Been naughty in showing you that. I better get back to the one day special. I'll get in trouble if it's longer than, you know.
Okay, so I have now cut out one interior. You know, the whole concept behind this is you can stack these up. So I now have the word thanks, and I've scored on both sides. I kind of eyeballed it. We should be in the ballpark here. Of course, you're at home. You're going to measure and be precise with this. And so I can actually take that and I can.
So lovely.
So I'll have to cut a little bit off of the bottom.
How much do you think? About a centimetre, about an inch and... Oh, no, not even that.
Okay. So I'm gonna... It's the bottom where I have the most to spare, and I'll actually take a smidge...
Nearly as much off the top, do you think?
Off the top, yeah. So back here where we can see, and... I still have a bit more to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. It depends where you want your arch to be, if you want it higher or lower.
Well, and actually, let me just, I don't have a pencil, but I'll mark it with my finger. Let's see. So I know that, and there we go. Okay. So I just nicked that, and...
I reckon we could be in business now.
We could. I might need to score over a little bit more, but, you know. I still don't have it.
Really? Not quite? Okay, well, luckily we can get pretty close.
It's better to be on the shy side than to have gone entirely too far. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So this should now fit down in here.
Yay.
Okay. I do need a different score line, so I will just come over another notch and, whoops.
There it is.
And we'll see if that does it. There we go. Okay. So the idea behind is that you're actually going to seat these in here. And so now I'll go back and cut another one and we'll seat it on top. They're all going to line up together so that you can see through them.
Okay, so you're building that scene and that progression.
Yeah. So I'm going to work on the second part. I'm going to work on the next, cutting the next die.
Yeah, okay. All right then.
And then I'm going to get this a little bit better. There we go.
We can always give you a couple of minutes if you want, Becca, if you'd like us to show us some samples or anything, if that's good for you. Yeah?
That'd be great.
Okay, all right then. So we've got an opportunity to just show you some finished samples here, just in case you have only just tuned in. It's wonderful to show you what you can do with the one-day special today. This is what you're getting as well, with your £10 saving, all the different elements that build the one-day special. But this, just before we do, is the grand cabinet. You get 6 dies in the grand cabinet, with your base die there, which cuts the frame, and then you've got those side panels that cut with the die towards the bottom. Approaching 30% of the stock gone on this already. We've really just had a quick look at it as well. $24.99 plus delivery, and it's $4,990.84. And also the grand arch. Now the difference is the grand cabinet there's got little nicks at the bottom to make it like it's got feet, like a wardrobe or a dresser. The grand arch is a bit more square. So it's a bit more like the Arc de Triomphe or something. You've got that square shape to it with the decorative arch. This is also $24.99 plus delivery, and it makes a beautiful design. Just when we come back and just show you these two designs, if you missed them earlier on, this is what you'll make with both of those die sets. The grand arch is over this side, and then the grand cabinet is in my left hand. So there they are, both together for you. Grand arch is here, and then grand cabinet is this one here, and they do squish flat to post as well, so you can do that to them and then pop them in an envelope and they spring back to life. They're ace. Your one day special dies, there is method in my madness in showing you those again, because those archways will match with these ones. So you can put these dies and these dies, Sweet Little Birdie, and also your woodland scene. You can fit those dies into your grand arch and grand cabinet, both of those. And then, included in the one day special, you also get your ribbon threading die set and your 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch shadow box dies. The genius of these is that if you want to make your 1/2 inch frame, you can do. And if you want to make a 3/4 inch width frame, you can do. And a full inch width frame, you can do that too. And it doesn't matter on the size either. They might well be rectangular. They could be 5 inches by 7 inches for 7 by 5. They might be 6 by 6 inch square. Rectangular or indeed square, you can do it. This is the 1/2 inch frame right now, with that wonderful vellum detail in the middle. So that's your 1/2 inch there, relevant to the depth of your frame too. This is your 3/4 inch frame on the side view, and now your 3/4 inch frame from the front. So that's 1/2, 3/4. These are all available individually, but they are all in the one day special also. And there is your 1 inch frame, the widest frame of all. So a lovely finish. I mean, imagine embossing, because we've got a wood grain embossing folder at home. Imagine embossing wood grain and actually sticking panels on the front there to make it like a real wood finish, or doing the faux leather technique, maybe making like a vintage leather frame as well. There's so much potential with these. This could be like a cover as well, to be like a decoration for maybe a project book or something too, so a three-dimensional look. But for make to keeps, for literal keepsakes, this is perfect, absolute perfection. If you're using the ribbon threader as well, you've got the potential to make a design like this, where you've got the ribbon threaded design on the frame. They are beautiful. It's such a pleasure to be part of this show, actually. Deborah on Facebook says stunning with style. So thank you, Deborah, for that feedback. Stunning and versatile, says Deborah. Sorry for that. It's always on my second day on the trot. It's always the year starts to go a bit. But obviously Becca will see those comments as well. And Becca, who's demonstrating for us now, she designed every single die on the show tonight. Just to show some of these examples, we've not seen these yet. These are show-stopping. Get your decorative papers out there. Just get so creative with these as keepsakes, as wedding gifts, as beautiful examples of home decor. These are all examples that are showing other dies on the show. So those butterflies, get your pattern papers out for the background, but the butterflies are available singly if you'd like to get hold of those. They're available for $16.99 plus delivery. Also, this die set here, it's this fan-like design that you have. That's the Starburst Valance and Gatefold die set, $16.99 also. There's something wonderfully Art Deco about that curve there. 238609, bottom of the screen for that. But look at this. Look at that frame there with the flowers. You get your paper flowers, get your die-cut flowers in there. Oh, you've got to see this. So sorry, I can't believe I haven't shown you this. What time is it? It's just gone 1:45. Can't believe this has taken me 3/4 of an hour to show you this. Look, you've got these acrylic. We've got some of these at home in a little pot in our beading collection. When you open them, they're drawers that have been made using the shadow box die set. So these beautiful drawers made to measure using your own patterned papers. That, for just making somebody a keepsake box, a jewellery box, oh my goodness me, how much could you charge for something like that? You wouldn't want to, would you? Because it's just the time involved for making a gift for somebody, though. Oh, nice. Get you one day special. It's available now with £10 off. All those samples I just showed you there are potentially makeable using the dies here in the one day special. Some of the decorations you might want to add to your order, like the butterflies and that Valance one. But 108894 is your item number. You'll get all 33 dies Because you're getting it as a one-day special, it is £10 off, making it just $93.94 plus delivery to order now. And then spread the cost if you want. It's just over £31 today on the first of 3 flexi buys. Becca, we've got about 5 minutes or so remaining on the show.
And I have actually cut some of those others so that we can layer them. Okay, I have one more to cut, but let's see what we already have. So we have thanks, and actually this one is centered. We guessed a little bit on the other one and eyeballed it, and you know I usually measure.
Okay.
Just to be, so this is what it will look like, and it is centered, and then there's a score point, and that's going to fit in there.
Lovely.
So that's the way we want it to work. Now you can alter these edges, you know, depending on which layer you want first. So, you know, poke out the chads, and then I've gone ahead and I've done the leaves.
This is so beautiful.
So this is a set that you can include what you want, don't include what you want. You know, you can just do the thanks and the bird. You can do the foliage. Like I scored this very shallowly on the side, so I'm going to put this.
So it's going to be down below.
Down below, yeah. And
it's a lovely design, Becca. I mean, I don't know how you've managed it, because you've got enough decoration there, but without taking over the whole archway. It's a lovely balance where you've got enough open areas.
Yeah, we work at that really hard.
I bet.
You know, we'll go through and see what we can see on all of the revisions. So. So this is taking shape. I've got the thanks. The last one would be the bird. Now, since I have a thanks that is, it needs to be adjusted, but it's raised, and then I have a gap with the foliage, the bird I could actually cut out and put all the way to the back.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have kind of 3 levels of dimension looking into this. So,
the bed could even be flat against your back piece, couldn't it? Or just slightly raised. It's
right.
Up to you.
And so, actually, I'm going to cut this out wholly, like I said you can do with the rim.
Okay. Just check the time. It's about 3 minutes now.
Okay. Let's just pop this through really quick, and yeah, and put it on a piece of paper. I can actually put it on this. We'll run that through.
And Becca will be here with the one-day special tomorrow at 9 a.m., 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. Those are all the different shows through the hour, and that's UK time as well, just to let you know. So yeah, 108894 to order. We do have a lot of customers all over the world, so we do ship to different international countries, including the United States, Switzerland, France, Spain, Monaco, different places. You'll see all that on the website.
Okay, I'm not going to glue this in, I'm just going to set it in, but see, that's cut out wholly. If you didn't want to do anything else but do that, that would be just a great card.
Oh, yeah.
And see how it's lining up, so the bird is behind, and, you know, I'll adjust that, and then we would go over top with the thanks, and we would have 3 layers of dimension pretty much in this.
Oh, so, that's absolutely beautiful.
Okay, that's popped up. And then we're going to go there. So that's just going to give you an idea what it's going to look like all layered up.
It's so lovely. But then again, already that's in the cream card before the final decoration, you know. So if it's looking that good just in the monochrome, yeah, because just with the die-cut shapes, you know, imagine with this beautiful pattern paper behind, just imagine how that's going to look when it's finished, like some of these as well that we can look at. There's just one there for you.
Yeah, and so this one,
a minute left on the show.
Everything is wholly cut out. It gives you, it's kind of like an added dimension because you can see in around the sides, but you can see each of the 3 pieces I cut that are layered up here with the bird.
I'll turn that one over. It's okay, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, with the bird and with the words and then the foliage in the back. So it's, you know, it seems are really popular right now, and to be able to layer them the way that you want and to trade amongst the sets is awesome.
Yeah, and paper cutting as well is huge, so that feeling of a paper cut image, but you've die cut it, but you're creating this lovely sort of naivety with your, it's lovely. And then just have a look at a couple of these samples that have punctuated the show. This is the 1/2 inch frame.
1/2 inch, and it's just really a card, but the rose can come out of it, and there's ribbon on it.
There's the 3/4 inch.
Yeah, 3/4 inch with one of the frames that is part of the embellishment attachment, you don't even have to think about it. You cut it out, it's going to fit on your standard cards.
And then the one that we saw with you was the 1-inch frame, and you were getting all three. And the genius of it is, as well, that you're measuring your card and making them as big or as small as you like. So all of these sizes are potentially possible and more. You know, you're only cutting the two ends through your die cutting machine and then scoring the bit in between.
That's right.
Becca's been an absolute lesson in creating in three-dimensional printing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
And as the designer of all the dies, who better to have guided us through it as well. So thank you very much for the show.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Stay tuned for more. Our Do Audio One Day special is